the longest stage of this year's Tirreno Adriatico. Stage 3, 239 kilometres, destination Colfiorito. Time to cut inland and head for the high ground. And indeed, with plenty of classified climbs up for grabs, it was to be yet another battle, surely, for the King of the Mountains jersey. Question was, what sort of rider would win the day? One of the GC men, one of the sprinters, one of the classics men. Neptune's trident never easily won, and today was to prove exactly that. They rolled them out. Pipo Garner, brilliant in the time trial. Milan, of course, as well, taking the sprint on stage 2. And we left the sunshine behind us. Soon the rain came down and also the temperatures tumbled. An early breakaway did indeed form. Just 2 riders out there, Bais and indeed Confortilli. Well, they started to amass mountains points, but really it was about the end of the day. How would that pan out? As we got to our final very big climb and the approaches to it, they were busy trying to deal with all kinds of terror as far as the road surface was concerned. Big puddles out there, but not dampening the enthusiasm. The pace wasn't at its highest, and as a result, riders were starting to feel the cold. Very much so, said De Bont from Decathlon AG Tour La Mondiale. He was looking for a partner in climb to get up the roads. Pietro Bon was the man who joined him. Everyone else was just trying to at least put some warmth in the muscles, and the gap that the pair of them managed to instill actually swelled out to being something quite substantial. In fact, we were wondering whether they would make it all the way home. Meanwhile, others were just helping each other, quite frankly, to try and just keep the weather at bay. Well, bike changes came, clothing changes as well. It was a question of just keeping your head together and potentially delivering something at the very last. The team started to work together. Ineos were doing much of the work out there. Lidl Trek also helped out the job. Would our 2 brave souls up the road be contesting the finale? Quite frankly, the troubles, both technical and indeed as far as the weather were concerned, were washing over everybody, and indeed the arguments were starting to happen as well. Who would help out, chase down the 2 up the road? Milan himself found himself on the deck, I'm afraid, was having to make his way back in. Crashes aplenty, and of course percentages as well to be had. Freestyle they were going, and then the reach outs were happening. Our breakaway was at an end, and the bravery had to be displayed. Garner himself decided to go long. Healy was folding over and having a dig, and then it came to a mass finish. Nothing expected, nothing demanded, and indeed nothing predicted. Phenomenal effort, and Decathlon had defined much of the day, victorious with Andrea Vendrame. Genius at work, came over the line, punched the air, and indeed delivered a spectacular win in terrible conditions. Vendrame taking it ahead of Pidcock, Gregoire also in the frame, and our leader overall remaining the magnificent Pipo Garner, who animated the day beautifully himself and stays in the lead by the same margin. New man in the King of the Mountains jersey got up very, very late on. He'd had so many opportunities in the past, but Derozzi owning that. Ayuso still our leader overall. Wonderful day of racing once again on the Tirreno. Milan, despite taking a tumble, maintains his lead in the Ciclamino jersey. Wonderful Tirreno Adriatico.